Well, that was a different way to start off. Anyway, trying to get this started here. All right, hello, and welcome to another episode of Pint Time with Backpacker Mike. Try to get this a little bit brighter here. Anyway, today's episode is episode 236. I will be having a guest on the show hopefully here shortly. His name is Jon. He's another traveler just like myself. He just finished a bunch of travels around over there in Europe. And he will be coming on the show to talk about his travels through like Italy and Malta and various other places. He was in Rome and various other places as well. So just waiting for him to jump on here. Let me see. Like enough, I guess. All right, let's see. What else can we do here? Let's see. That's cool. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna try these craft beers for you guys real quick. I'm not gonna wait for a bunch of people to get on, which is what I normally do. To have you guys pick the first beer that you guys want me to try. But first, special shout out to the Rudians, Rudians. Check them out on YouTube right here. Search Lion in the Jungle. You will find them. Give them a like, follow, subscribe, and a share. Tell them Backpacker Mike sent you. This one is called Ease My Mind. It's one of my favorites. All right, as you know, this is Pint Time, so I try some great craft beers for you guys, usually two of them for each show. If you're not following me on Facebook yet, please give me a follow on Facebook. You can also watch the live show over on Facebook as well. The first one I'm going to be trying for you guys is called the Beekeeper. The Beekeeper, it is a honey brown ale. I love honey brown ales, so I am all about this one. These scored really high on my TikTok. They can't really go much higher. This is by LaBelle Brewing Company, which is just about an hour and a half south of me or so. This one comes in at 5.9%. I'm sorry, 6%. 5.9 is the other one. 6% on the Richter scale. It says the Beekeeper is the most popular dark ale, their most popular dark ale, with notes of dark roast, coffee, and sweet kick from LaBelle local honey. Because why not? This beer is a real crowd pleaser. So love the little artwork there too. Love the little beekeeper guy. Got a little hops beekeeper guy there. All right, so I'll be trying that one, and then I will also be trying this one by Community Beer Works out of Buffalo, New York. It is called the Whale Brown Ale. The Whale Brown Ale, and then of course you got a play on the bit of the yin and the yang, with the whales there. But Community Beer Works, pretty interesting. Says the Whale is a smooth yet complex beer packed with flavor yet easy to drink. We layer distinctive English brown malt, which I love, and two types of chocolate malt to create aromas, flavors of coffee, chocolate, and surprisingly deep roast. And this was very good as well. So let me do the Beekeeper first. I'm going to give this Beekeeper a try. So basically, if you're new to the show, it is Pint Time with Backpacker Mike. I try two craft beers for you guys, and then I give them a score and I rate them and tell you about them. So if you're into craft beer, this is for you. And then also after that, I talk about travel, or I interview people who are travelers who traveled like me with their backpack, etc., like I am in my videos behind me here, which you can find on my YouTube page. All of these videos, they're separated out by country that I was in and the Camino. This is me walking the Camino across Spain. All right, so I'm going to try this one, Beekeepers, for you guys, and let's see what it's all about. Cheers, pros, sláinte, and skull for my Nordic friends. You know who you are. Yeah, that's just a really good honey brown ale. You get a bit of that sweetness, that coffee kind of notes, like what they talked about. It's just a pleasant all around. It's a just a pleasant all around honey brown ale. Let me do a hard pour for you guys so you can kind of see what it's all about there. There you go. Nice little brown ale. I love me a good brown ale. And you get the earthy, you do get some of the honey on the notes on the nose. Now I will say when you do the hard pour, it's pretty good. It's almost like it almost comes off with like a bit of a creamy flavor. So it's almost like a coffee honey with cream kind of flavor to it on the hard pour. When you drink it straight out of the can, you get that honey sweetness, followed by the earthiness of the brown ale, and then it finishes off with a bit of that bitterness from the coffee on the back of the palate. If you do the hard pour, it just kind of blends it all together. It's almost like putting it all in a coffee cup and blending it together with your spoon. Out of the can, it's a bit layered. I actually enjoy it on the hard pour more, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour the rest of this in there. And I'm going to score the old Beekeeper by LaBelle Brewing Company a 10. This is one of the best brown ales I have had. So very good. Very good with the 10 there. All right, let's get into the Whale Brown Ale as we wait on John, who's hopefully going to be on soon. If not, I will just ramble on about whatever I got to ramble on about. I just sent him another message, so I don't know. We'll see. All right, now let's give this the Whale of a Brown Ale. I also scored this really high over on my TikTok. Yeah, see, this comes with more of a chocolate, followed up by a little hint of coffee on the nose. But let's see. This is a thicker brown ale. It has more body to it. It's more dense, not quite as light as the other one. Very good though. Definitely more chocolatey than coffee. You get a lot of that chocolate up front when you drink it, followed by a bit of that kind of coffee bitterness in the back. Yeah, this is really good. I'm gonna do a hard pour for you guys. See what it's all about there. Now the coffee really comes out when you do the hard pour, so it's probably going to be coffee first. Yeah, that's what it does. It creates that sort of bitter kind of coffee flavor all the way through, and then you get a little bit of that chocolate. It's almost like the chocolate and the coffee blended together. However, I do kind of like it a little bit more out of the can, but I dump most of it in the cup. But yeah, that's pretty good. I think John might have fell asleep over there in England. But yeah, the community beer works. The Whale Brown Ale. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna go with the 10 on this one. This is another really good brown ale. It is The complexity of it is different than the honey brown ale. Of course, the honey brings in a lot different notes. The sweetener that they used here basically is the chocolate, whereas the honey brown ale, they use the honey. I love honey. If you don't like honey, then that's probably not up your alley. But either way, yeah, that is really good. I'm gonna go another 10. I'm gonna give Community Beer Works another 10. The Whale of a Brown Ale. All right. Well, John is not on yet. And while John is 6 hours ahead of me, that still only puts him a little bit after 9 o'clock. I doubt he's asleep yet. I really doubt it. But if he doesn't come on, I will come up with an alternative to talk about. I have all my notes. I'm on episode 236, so I've got a lot of notes, and most of them I did not do here. So I may just find a quick one to do for you guys, since it looks like John might not be making it on today, of which then I'll have to figure out what to do for Facebook as well. Let's see. I will give you guys. I suppose I could give you guys this one possibly. South Africa. I did South Africa. I did Morocco. I did Thailand. These are all the countries that I did showcases or focused on the countries. New Zealand. Here we go. Here's what I'll do for you guys. This will be kind of quick. I'll just kind of blow through these real quick for you guys, and then we will go from there. These are interesting travel facts, and this is what I'm going to go through with you guys, and we'll see if John makes it on, and if not, then then we'll see you next Saturday, I suppose. All right, so yeah, let me give you guys some interesting travel facts since we are live here. Um, Even though I've only seen a couple people pop on and then pop right back off. So anyway, let me see if uh, I sent him the invite again. All right, so let me get into some interesting facts for you guys. Why not? There's always some really cool international or interesting travel facts, right? So, roughly 24 million people travel by train in India every day. That's a number that's just short of the total population of Australia. And if you don't know, there's another interesting fact for you guys: is something like 80% of Australia's population, lives on the coasts. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that'd be all right. Some people don't realize I do a live show. All right, I think that'll work. All right, so the next one is 72% of boomers reported feeling happier and more relaxed after vacation, while 67% stated that their health improved as a result of traveling. That's pretty cool. I know my sort of inner self and psyche or whatever was definitely changed also. This is me in Bribey Island, Australia. Speaking of Australia. All right, Iceland is the only country in the world where you don't have to worry about mosquitoes. That's right, there's no mosquitoes in Iceland. And also, you virtually don't have to worry about crime in Iceland either because um, there's virtually no crime in Iceland. It's so safe in Iceland that most women leave their children out in their stroller outside the store or the cafe when they go in to get their coffee. Airbnb has over 7 million listings worldwide and it is active in about 98% of the world. So just about anywhere you travel in the world, you'll be able to get an Airbnb. Just about 98% chance that you're going to find an Airbnb. Exploring new places together is the main priority of 49% of families planning to travel. I would think, right? That makes total sense to me. Solo travel has taken off among, oh goodness, among American women with 72% of women traveling solo. Don't be afraid to travel solo, really. Uh, anything can happen anywhere. It doesn't really make that bit of a different, much of a difference. You could be at home, walk out your front door, get hit by a car. Who knows? Or you could get robbed. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Well, with the exception of Iceland. Anyway, international travelers to the U.S. back in 2023 actually spent an estimated 118 billion dollars here in the U.S. on vacation or on holiday, as you folks say in Europe. 84% of travelers have reported planning a trip after looking at vacation photos of someone else's social media, kind of like myself and several other travelers and backpackers and travel influencers and things. They'll see footage like this and be like, wow, that place looks really cool, let me go travel to it. So a lot of people will do that. 84%. 55% of travelers staying at an Airbnb for a long time reported to be working or attending college remotely. So you'd have an influencer, backpacker, YouTube person, whatever, social media person who will work abroad as long as they have an internet connection. So, and a lot of them will stay in Airbnbs for an extended period of time. While only 12% of airline passengers travel for business, it contributes to 75% of an airline's overall profits for business because they fly so often for business. An international traveler visiting the United States and staying for 18 nights on average tends to spend around $4,200 on their trip. So if you come over from Europe or various other places and you come here to the United States and you stay 18 nights, depending on where you go, obviously, if you go to New York or Miami, it's going to be more expensive. Same way with LA, Houston, Texas, etc. It's all going to be a bit more expensive. You want to get out of those areas and visit surrounding areas. And if you really want to go to New York City, stay outside of New York City and then just take a ferry or a train or whatever and go into the city from there. You'll save a lot more money by staying outside of the city because everything in the city is expensive, especially in New York or California or here in Florida, in certain parts of Florida. Let's see, what's another one? Solo travelers reportedly spend $1,500 a week in addition to airfare during their trips, or $215 a day. Now, I think that I pretty much stuck around the $50 to $60 a day, maybe give or take. There were some times I might have went above that, maybe $100 a day, depending on what I was doing or what I wanted to splurge on, etc. May I've only seen this. All right, I'll be on Facebook later. All right, John's going to be on Facebook later. So sorry we missed him here on YouTube. All right, so let's see. Vacation expenses account for 2% of the average American's yearly budget. 2%, which that should be like 20%. Just live cheap and spend large for travel. That's what I say. Live cheap and spend large for travel. Close to 68% of travelers would like to see their money reinvested in local businesses to help the local economy, which is what I did a lot. Like, I didn't really do a lot of the touristy places. I would get off the tourist path. I would find the locally owned sort of, places, and then I would spend my money there and go eat there. This is me on the ferry going across the Irish Sea from England to Ireland. All right, 25% of all domestic travel costs and 16.2% of international travel costs go towards food. You can find a lot of different food options. You can find cheaper food options. It depends on what country you're going to, where you want to go to. I loved all this Guinness merchandise, by the way. I picked up some of that while I was on that ferry on my way to Dublin. But yeah, you could save a lot on food. Farmers markets, things like that. You can get fruit and things for super inexpensive. Uh, hit local restaurants and places to eat. Street food is amazing across most of the world. Especially in Southeast Asia and places like that. 73% of travelers want to stay in an eco-friendly or sustainable accommodation at least once. Uh, I wouldn't mind staying in one of those if I could find one somewhere. Excuse me. I remember when I traveled through South Africa, I was in Cape Town and they were on water restrictions. And that was a bit of a different experience. You had to turn the shower water on and get wet, then turn it back off and soap up, then turn it back on and rinse off. And they had a catch bucket in there. So they took that water from the shower and they, fed it to their plants or whatever and shrubs. But there's some really cool eco friendly and sustainable accommodations out there. You could even do an eco tour. You can do an eco trip. You can plan that out. So definitely something. And it's also one of the rising sort of genres of travel. During the 2021 and 2025 period, the sustainable travel market is said to grow to 235 billion. After I just mentioned to you guys about how that market's growing, 235 billion it will reach. 35% of travelers want travel companies to share more tips and methods that can help them be sustainable on their trips. So there you have it. The US is the only developed country in the world without a single legally required paid vacation day or holiday. That's right. Our government doesn't require any business to give us holiday or to give us vacation days, unfortunately. And so, um, yeah, the businesses here do, though, however, give out holidays and vacation days. However, they're not required to. Also, this interesting fact: 99% of Libya is a desert. 99% of Libya is desert. I think the biggest population in Libya is right on the coast there in northern Libya. There are roughly 61,000 people in the air above the United States at any given time on any given day in a plane. That's crazy. If you ever look at a plane map or something like that of the United States during prime business travel time, The planes are just insane. You got international travel, local travel, and everything else. I love how they run ads on my YouTube, and I'm not eligible for ads yet. One third of the world's airports are located in the U.S. What the hell? I didn't know that. Hey, Chad, what's up? John couldn't make it on the YouTube, so he's coming on to Facebook. So I'll have John live from England when I get over to Facebook. There is a town in Norway just simply called A, but it's pronounced Aw, which means river. So the town is called River. The Eiffel Tower is a daily place of work for about 600 Parisians. Why not? 600 Parisians. I was at the Eiffel Tower. I visited the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 30 people working there during the day, I would assume. There was a bunch of, you have to get checked and your bags checked and all that stuff. There was probably about ten people doing that. Then you had various other people, around and working in the shops and things like that. 90% of all meteorites that have hit the Earth are found in Antarctica. That's a good thing. Just let it keep hitting Antarctica and not here. Spanish is rated the happiest language in the world. Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy bien. ¿Y tú? Hablo un poquito español, just enough to get me by. The famous Panama hat actually comes from Ecuador. Who would have thought, right? Another fun fact is that you can lose up to 60 ounces of water during a 10-hour flight. So stay hydrated. I had many 10, 12, 14, 15, 16-hour flights. You got to drink your water when you're on that flight because you will get dehydrated. And then that also partially leads to you um, getting jet lag as well. So make sure you get enough fluids while you're on a long flight for sure. Almost 3% of the ice in Antarctica is made up of penguin pee. That's right, penguin pee. How about that? The North American OK sign is an obscene gesture in Turkey, Brazil, and Germany, and can be seen as threatening in parts of the Middle East. So whatever you do, don't do the. I almost did it, but don't do the OK sign when you're in any of those countries or in the Middle East. In European countries, I can't even say it. In European countries, when counting by hand, the thumb is number one, whereas in the US, the thumb is number five. So basically, when you're traveling around most of the world, number one is this: one, two, three, four, five. Whereas here in the United States, it is one, two, three, four, five. There you have it. It's perfectly normal and expected for passengers to ride in the front seat of taxis in Australia, mate. In Australia. So the taxi driver in Australia might look at you a little weird if you just jump in the back seat and nobody's in the front seat. So when you get a taxi in Australia, which is one thing I tell everybody not to do is get a taxi. But if you get a taxi in Australia and the front seat is open, please jump in the front seat so they don't feel weird. Adding salt or pepper to your food is considered highly offensive to chefs in Switzerland. So you probably won't see a salt shaker and a pepper shaker on a table in Switzerland when you order food. In parts of Tibet, sticking your tongue out at someone is a greeting. Hello. The number one country for paid time off is Italy. They actually receive 42 paid vacation days a year. 42. That's pretty awesome. Wish they did that here in the United States. Australia is the only country in the world that occupies a whole continent. That's right, a whole continent. So there you go. There's some interesting facts for you guys that I threw out there since John couldn't make it onto YouTube. And we are at about a 30-minute YouTube right now. So I will finish up this whale brown ale Two tens already, man. I started out with two tens. That's pretty crazy. I made some pretty good beer choices. So here in Florida, I go to Total Wines and More. Absolutely love Total Wines and More, but I have to drive about an hour or two to. I'm gonna have to run, making arrangements to fly to Seattle. Hurricane threat passes. Father's cancer is struggling. Nearing its end. Oh no, man. Sorry to hear that, bro. Sorry to hear that, man. I lost my sister Sherry to that. It'll be 3 years ago this coming December 10th. So I feel you, bro. I feel you, man. Much love to you and the family, and yeah, just be there for him, man. Just be there for him. Taking any food, so yeah, he's not. Yeah, yeah, bro. You got to get out there, man. Get out there as soon as you can. As soon as you can. Man, big hugs, brother. Big hugs. Love you, man. That just sucks. I don't cuss on my show very much, but fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. Literally, fuck cancer. I fucking hate it. Anyway, anyway. All right, brother, man. I love you. I truly there and see your dad, man. Give him a big hug and let him know that you're there. All right, brother. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on Pine Time with Backpacker Mike. I truly appreciate it. Look for it next Saturday. I'll be live on YouTube every Saturday going forward. I'm skipping out on Instagram. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And as always, peace, love, and let's continue to experience this beautiful world together. I'll see you guys next time on Pine Time with Backpacker Mike. Peace.